Question 5. In 2022, 1 liter of fuel cost $1.50. In 2023, the price increased by 20%. In 2024, the price decreased by 10%. Calculate the cost of 1 liter of fuel at the end of 2024. Note the cost in 2022 is $1.50. It increased by 20% in 2023, and you're asked to find its value at the end of 2024, where it dropped by 10%. Now, to solve this question, you have to find 20% of the price, then add it to the initial value. Then the new answer you get, you find 10% of it, then you subtract it from your price in 2023. Let's just do the question so you can understand. So in 2022, it cost $1.50. There's a 20% increase. So you find 20% of $1.50, then you add it to $1.50 to get the price it was sold for in 2023. So you have 20% of $1.50. When you get it, you add it to $1.50. So the increase is 20%. You find the increase first. That's 20 over 100 times 1.5. 20 times 1.5 is 30 over 100. That's 0.3. You're allowed to use your calculator, so this will be easy. The 20% increase is 0.3, so you add it to the initial cost, which is $1.50. 0.3 plus $1.50 gives you $1.80. That's the new price in 2023 as a result of 20% increase. There are two other ways you can find this 20% increase rather than do it this way, but I think this is what is expected from a student at your level. But if you're doing an OBJ question, or a question that doesn't really need you to show your working, you could just say, since it's 20% increase, that means of the 100% you add 20% to it. That the increase of 20% makes it 120%. So it's 120% of $1.50. So you have 120 over 100 times $1.50. Can make it over 1. By the time you solve this, you get $1.80. That means you jump right to the answer without even having to get the 20% increase first, then add it to the initial cost. Or you can go the third way. Now, $1.50 is 100%, because at this point it's regarded as 100%, but increased by 20%. $1.50 is 100%. If you increase it by 20%, so 120% is equivalent to X. You cross multiply, then you get your answer as $1.80. You can do it this way too. You can try it out. Now that we have the amount it was sold for in 2023 due to an increase in price by 20%, in 2024 the price decreased by 10%. So you have to find 10% of this new value, or the new price they sell in 2023, then subtract the answer from the price that was sold in 2023 to get the price that was sold by the end of 2024. So we have 10% of $1.80. Multiply 10 times 1.80, then the result you divide it by 100. 10 times 1.80, 10 times 1.80 is 18, then over 100 will give you 0.18. That's 18 cents. That means the 10% decrease is 18 cents. Next, we'll now have to subtract it from the price it was sold in 2023, which is $1.80. So you have $1.80 minus 18 cents, and that gives you $1.62. So the price that it was sold for at the end of 2024 is $1.62. The answer to the question is therefore $1.62. Make sure you include the dollar sign. So this is our answer. But note, as said earlier, there are two other ways of calculating this, but let's just use one of them. In 2023, due to the price increase by 20%, the cost per liter grew from $1.50 to $1.80. And in 2024, it said the price decreased by 10%. That means the price in 2023 decreased by 10%. That means the $1.80 decreased by 10%. When anything decreases by 10%, that means the initial thing is taken as 100%. And if it decreases by 10%, you'll be left with 90%. Meaning that you can solve this question by finding 90% of $1.80. That means if you take 90% of $1.80, you will get $1.62. So let's just do it. 90 over 100 times $1.80. You're allowed to use a calculator. The result will give you $1.62. Same answer. Now it depends on which of the methods you find easier and which of the methods is approved at your level. But you can learn the 3 methods, or at least 2 of the methods. With any of the 3 methods, you still get your answer, provided you know how to apply the method into solving questions like this.